And that's important because instead of pushing you away, we're going to bring you back in. And then because we're all, these are alternative schools. This is the second, third stop, and if it doesn't work out here, I think some of the consequences of what we watched in the documentary today. And for the students, again, it's confidence too. I worked in residential treatment for a long time, and there was always like the new flavor of the year diagnosis. It was like opposition defiant disorder, bipolar, you have the ADHD. But what trauma does is, when you start talking about that with youth, it's empowering because it's recognizing not something that's organically wrong with you, but something that happened to you in your past that was horrible, right? And then with the trainings with the students, we can give them coping skills, we can help them overcome the roadblocks, but also just recognizing their whole personhood. There's nothing wrong with them, and hopefully them finding their voice. And once they're able to talk, use their voice, they can talk about what happened to them and feel stronger from it.
Definitely. So how does addressing this trauma impact society?
Well, Tom Dart, right, our Cook County Sheriff, says that Cook County Jail is the largest, I might be messing up this quote, is the largest provider of mental health services this side of the Mississippi. I think ASN and I propose that why can't schools be the largest provider of mental health services? Because, our students, they talk about schizophrenia and bipolar, but we're also just talking about trauma is also just institutional racism, it's poverty, it's economic injustice happening in the past and today. So, there just needs to be that recognition. And the way we're treating it now is with jails, right? It needs to be treated a different way. There's this doctor in Oakland, California named Nadine Burks. And what she does is part of this year physical assessment is your mental health assessment too. So I would like we're talking about trauma like we talk about the everyday cold, right? Like we talk about the flu. So that then, the responses will be institutional wide, and this is just something we talk about more in general, and there's different solutions to the behavior, because our kids are depressed, they're in poverty, and they're coming behind me, so I'm gonna stop. Yeah.
Big round of applause for Keith. All right, Chili. So, what were some of the circumstances that led to your incarceration?
So, the first memory I actually have of my mother is her almost getting killed by my stepfather, right? So then almost every other memory after that kind of compounded that because she chose to stay with this man, right? And her coping mechanisms were substance abuse, right? So I grew up a very angry kid, right? I went to school and got in trouble, got suspended, got pushed away, and it made me even more angry. So it kind of led me to make some very bad decisions. One being joining a gang at a very young age. Something that I still live with regret of is what led to my incarceration, which was that I took a young man's life, me and myself at a very young age. So I was incarcerated as a juvenile, causing the death of another juvenile, right? And what I learned from that is that I needed to do something to change the trajectory for at least my family first, right? So I used the impact of learning about victimization and all these different issues dealing with trauma and how to reconcile myself first, how to forgive myself, right? As a way of trying to give back, right? And those were some of the circumstances that led to the person that I am today. And when you speak of systems, right, we speak of the schools and what the criminal justice system can do, but politicians play a major role in all these different things, right? So when we talk about schools and safety, right, the first things to get cut out of the state budgets are schools. That's why we get school closings, right? So now you displace a large number of students into other neighborhoods, right? Where they may not feel safe, where they may not feel safe, right? So when we talk about trauma, we need to make sure to hold our politicians accountable, right? Because it's easy for somebody to look at me for what I did, which was terribly wrong, right? But somewhere along the line, a system has been failing people like me every single day, right? And we need those systems, like most of the systems that are up here today, to continue to hold those people in power accountable, because these are the same people that are continually making these policies and making these laws that do stuff to us instead of for us.
I agree 100%. I have one more question for you, and this one is important. So, from the movie, it seems that re-entry can be very difficult. So, what systems were in place to help you successfully re-enter? What led to you becoming successful today and the person you are?
So the system that was actually set up for me even before I came home was that network of brothers who were already engaged in other community organizations. One being Ceasefire, another being the Institute of Nonviolence. So brothers that I had done much time with, we're talking about 20, 30, 35 years, right? That I was able to meet these brothers who did this amount of time, who came home and kind of set the stage for brothers like me to come home and be able to invest ourselves into communities, right? So that system itself has been the largest one for me, another being family. Sadly, a lot of people in prison don't have those systems readily available. For me, I think it's important to continue that network, that system of brothers that are coming home, engaging ourselves in community intervention programs to reduce violence, but also to be able to create more opportunities, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be working for precious blood for the rest of my life, right? I want somebody else to replace me, but not somebody else that's outside of the community that I serve, right? It has to be the youth coming up through the programs that we have. And I didn't make mention of that program that we do at Precious Blood. It's called CAVE, Community Anti-Violence Education. Now this program is unique in that this was a program created for and by men who were in prison with the goal of always impacting the communities that we came from. To reduce violence by being those credible messengers, because it's sad to say, but these young brothers out here are looking to people that have gone through their similar experiences to be those interveners between them and that school to prison pipeline, right? So, yeah, I see.
Gotta preach the preach.